Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to Speed 4 Racing for Div 2 for round 13 here at the Singapore Grand Prix at the Marina Bay Circuit. How you all doing tonight? My name is Jamie and I'll be your commentator for tonight as Oliver is not available, unfortunately. So it's just me and I'll take you through the 18 minutes of qualifying and the 31 lap race yet to come. So we've got some cars that are making their way out of the circuit for this track. It was introduced, the first night race, back in 2008, and what a controversial race that was, as Fernando Alonso took the first victory out here, and it led to a very strange decision indeed, as Nelson Piquet suspiciously crashed out of a corner, allowed Alonso to go through and take first as the rest in pit, as you weren't allowed to pit under a safety car by then, and Fernando Alonso took the lead and won the race with Nico Rosberg on the podium too. I think it was Timo Glock who took a podium too around here back in 2008, and a year later Nelson Piquet was the one who got booted from the team as his performances was not really great, then snitched on the team after getting booted out. Romain Grosjean was the man that replaced him, and the exact same year later he crashed out of the exact same spot where Piquet crashed out too, so that was funny indeed. But we just had a race around in Singapore last weekend, and it was Lando Norris who took the victory ahead of Max Verstappen and also third place man Oscar Piastri. McLaren yet again extend their Constructors' Championship with Lando Norris trying to home him down. We'll see, can he do it with 6 races left to go, including sprint races. He's got a lot of work to do, but Max Verstappen has got to make sure he finishes on the podium or better than Norris if he can. But with the way that Red Bull's going so far, it could be quite difficult to beat Norris on the track unless something happens. But here we are on board with the Ferrari man who took his first podium of the season back at the Imola Grand Prix, and as he makes his way down towards turn 1, looking around the 50-metre board, that's where you want to turn and brake in, carrying the speed through turn 2, also down into turn 3, very nicely in there, as it's very easy to make a mistake at that particular part of the section. I did a race around here not long ago, and quite tricky to hook it up in turn 1 to turn 3, because you arrive and drive faster through turn 1 to turn 3, and it's so easy to make a mistake whether you validate on the exit or make a mistake at turn 3. And here we are down towards turn 7, I believe this is. You want to use the curb on the outside to lean on it as we go down towards turn 8. This sharp right-hander, he bumps over the curbs there, clutches the curb, so he might have lost himself a bit of time. But as we swing towards turn 9, they want to avoid the wall on the outside, of course, trying to make sure you get the car fully rotated as we now make our way towards the old Singapore sling. And this can be quite tricky indeed. It's very easy to get caught out as we make our way now towards the under the Anderson Bridge, where we saw Charles Leclerc lose his right front tyre as he crashed there, didn't he, back in 2018 in the Sauber. And now we make our way towards the third DRS zone, another place we can overtake, of course, but we don't really see many overtaking around this particular part of the track, as it's very difficult, and plus the straight is not long enough either to try and make an overtake. Now, the DRS zone is here, but it's not been introduced on this game just yet, so we won't see it. And now we're making our way towards turn 19 and turn 20 as Zeno negotiates nicely out of the corner before we make our way towards the final 2 corner we go. Zeno will set a benchmark of a 28.1 in the Ferrari as the Aston Martin and Mindful Wasp slots into P2 with a 28.3. His teammate is coming towards the final corner. There he is, up into P3. The Ferrari man who took a podium, I think, back at I think it was the Italian Grand Prix. He definitely took a podium, because I know it was at Miami, as Lord Alum, the man who returns to league racing here in Div 2 with a 28.0, as Mansell tops the time with a 27.7 then. So there are your flying laps coming in thick and fast with more people across the line. Martin goes up into P4 with a 28.2. The man that took pole back at the back of Grand Prix, but didn't quite go well for them afterwards, as we got Mindful Wasp and Klusler up into P6 with a 28.5, with emails just further behind, separated by 300ths of a second there, so not much in it between those two. Keith on his first lap, not a representative, so I believe he made a mistake, or he's going for his second lap right now, not with the EOS he wants on his first lap. Somebody else just moved up the order. That was Adams, who goes up into P2, as Calvin Racing now in the Sauber, who goes into second place with a 27.874, as Adams was, I think, had a qualifying ban back in Baku, so he had to make his way up the field, but I believe he had damage on the first open lap of the race and also picked himself up at 10-second time penalty. But 9th place wasn't bad, all things considering, without a safety car, so he had to make his way up through there in the hard way, and no that was happening, which meant he had to try and make his way up to the field and try and gain as many places as he can. Cassidy to Paul back in Miami. Tries to defend for Adams, but Adams managed to get him, although he had a post-race penalty afterwards. As here we are out of turn 5, Cassidy on the long straight then. I say long, it's not quite long, is it? As it's it's just the main straight really, as we go down towards turn 7 in this braking zone. Into 4th gear, leans on the curb, the car tail happy on the exit. Before we head into more slow speed corners, before we can round turn 9, just a slight lift off there, back of the throttle as soon as the car's rotated, use the overtake as well to get more boost out the corner. Before we swing our way into this left-hander we go. It's quite easy to hit the inside wall there, but especially with the car snatched on you from time to time with the stick drift as well. For those who run on pad, I managed to hit the inside wall there plenty of times on this game when that a practice run in Singapore. A bit of wheel spin on the exit there for Cassidy as he tries to stretch up the car to get back at the power as quickly as he would have wanted. His teammate is just a bit further ahead, so he might give him a bit of a slipstream there, as Cassidy didn't get a good run out of turn 30. He just went a bit wide and lost the back end of the car. As we make our way now towards the final few corners of this track, it can be very difficult, especially on the exit there where you take too much curb and you can easily lose the back end of the car. Now flicking in towards the final 2 corners, is it flat out? I'm not quite sure, but here we are. He goes up into P7 with a 28.1 then, as Keith managed to get himself a lap time on the board up into P7. MCFC, who rumoured to be his last race of the season, is still here. And let's hope for his sake that he can try and get a good result. It's a 28.1, and as you can see from P5 to P8, 28.1s. A track like this, but it's tricky, lots of corners, easy to make a mistake around here. They're doing a fantastic job indeed to keep it within close range of each other, as Lord Alum has invalidated his lap time. He's lost a wing as well, I believe, on the left-hand side, so he must have made a mistake somewhere. Adams is down in the first sector, but he's also invalidated then, so that lap time will not count for him. My fault was, but 2 seconds down the first sector. Atlas Copo, B15, but we know he can do more than that as he goes 2 tenths quicker, or almost 3 tenths quicker in the first sector, so kind of keep this momentum up. Atlas Copo's found a lot of pace recently, same as Xenon, but he still makes mistakes from now to then, so let's hope we can try to keep it nice and tidy on the track as we round turn 12. This left-hander where it can be so tricky on the exit of a corner, it's so difficult, as you want to make sure. Look at that, 6 tenths up in the middle sector there is Atlas Copo, so let's see where can he put his Red Bull in comparison to the rest of the field. Both Alpines in 16th and 17th, with Smoke coming off the back of 2 wins in a row. Ever since Smoke appeared here, he's done a fantastic job, and slowly but surely climbing his way through the championship order. And here he is. Atlas Copo goes to P4 with a 28.0, so that's not a bad lap time at all from the Red Bull driver. That's 3-lap-old soft compiled tyres, so there's more lap times to be found from the Red Bull driver, as Xenon there crawls back into the pit lane, so he must have made a mistake somewhere on that lap time, because I did see a end plate lacking on his right front. Sorry, Smoke took 3 wins in a row. That's how incredible he's been so far, as the RP driver, both at the Italian Grand Prix at Monza and Imola, and at the Baku Grand Prix, so that's how tight it's been for those drivers there. Burmeister took another podium back at the Baku Grand Prix. Unexpected podium, he says. Despite his qualifying position, he's currently down there in P15, so we know that his qualifying pace hasn't been strong in particular, but his race pace, on the other hand, has been decent so far. So at least he's got the race pace, because it's better to be quick in the race than not qualifying, obviously. Qualifying the track position, but in terms of the race, it's all about saving tyres and managing ERS, etc., and making sure your setup is suited towards the car, because you can have a really good qualifier setup, but in the race it's all over the place, just like Mercedes are at the moment. They have no idea the concept of that car, where it is. So on board with Mansell, the man is second place in the championship. He won back in Miami, but it was a post-race penalty victory that secured him first place, because Adams won the Grand Prix but got demoted down. He's currently 28 points behind Adams so far in the championship, so still on the back foot is Mansell, as we come towards the final 2 corners to open up a lap for the Aston Martin driver as he makes his way down towards turn 1. Oh, sorry about that. Let's go back on board there. He clips the apex really nicely. Doesn't use all the track on the outside of turn 2 as we round turn 3. As we make our way towards turn 4, you want to go towards the left-hand side, open up this corner here. It's really tight as well as we exit there, trying to get as close to the wall as possible with the DRS enabled on again, using the overtake down the straight. before we head towards the breaker zone at turn 7. 1/10 up in the first sector is Mansell, so good improvement there already from the Aston Martin driver, as his closest competitor is Calvin in P2, who's also on a flying lap. So can both Saubers as well get back on form, because they had a good strong start to the season, but recently Sauber hasn't really been up there. Martin goes P3 in the 27.9. Where's his teammate? His teammate is not here, which is Sonic Hawk. Both RBs have good strong pace as well, but still make mistakes, as Mansell didn't get a good run out of turn 13 there, so got a bit compromised on the exit as he tried straight up the car. But still, 2/10 up in the middle sector is the Aston Martin driver, so currently on good form so far is Mansell. Can he keep it up? Finished on the podium back at the back of Grand Prix. He just missed out by 1,000th or a tenth. That's how close it was between Mansell and Smoke. Mansell's trying to take as many points his way as he can towards Adams in P4. Here comes Mansell now around the final corner. It's a 27.5 and he goes pole by about 0.3 of a second. That's a huge margin, although Burmeister has just closed it down and he goes up into P2. So that's a very strong qualifying there from the Williams driver. Smoke goes into P3 with a 27.5. 3 drivers with a 27.5. That's how incredibly tight this pack is. So that's very nice to see indeed, all these close times, especially a track like this where it's very long indeed. Five kilometers long is this circuit. Baku is 7 kilometers long. Baku and Singapore. Lord Adams crosses the line to go over to P4 with a 27.7 in the Williams there, so that's very close. That's very close towards his teammate. Both Williams and P2 and P4 can play the cards for the strategy for tomorrow's race. I say tomorrow, for the next session's race. Adams, what's he currently doing out there? He's currently in P8. There he is, right up under the corners. What can a McLaren driver do as he crosses the line now? A 27.6, and he puts himself up to P4. So a very handy lap time there from Adams. With 5 minutes left to go in the session, everything to play for. And let's see who could beat a 27.5. Here comes Zeno around the final corner. He goes up into first. It's a 27.4 from the Ferrari driver. And that is a mighty lap time indeed from him. I wasn't expecting that, but puts a bit of daylight between himself and the rest of the field. MCFC, who goes into P3. Now we know MCFC has been struggling recently in qualifying and in the race. He almost lost his seat as well, as he wanted to quit, but MCSC, has he found any pace recently? Has he found any consistency? Has he finally got himself into a rhythm? It took a bit of time for him to get up to speed after being a lap down and picking up penalties as well and making a few mistakes here and there. What's Alex Copo doing as he makes his way now towards turn 1 towards 3? Has a slight lock up on the entry towards 3. And by the way, we didn't really mention it or see it on the official F1 TV broadcaster, but Franco Colapinto's move into turn 1 was absolutely amazing. The F2 driver went for it down into turn number 1, overtook 3 cars, including Leclerc, Sainz, and I think it was Alex Albon at the time, and he made it stick. He didn't lose the car, he didn't go out wide, and he managed to put that Williams up into P9 at the time as well. So fantastic from Franco Colapinto, as Alex Albon was complaining about the move, but I didn't see anything wrong with it. So here comes Copo now making his way towards this twisty part of the middle sector, just following the lines there. He's trying to keep it nice and tidy as you can, trying to get as close to the wall as possible as we make our way now down towards 13. Turn 12, sorry, this can be a really tricky place, especially in the race as well, because you carry a lot of fuel, the tyre wear is excessive as well, and also braking is going to be a problem too, whether you have a rear locking, snatching the rear brakes as a Sauber goes off the track. That's Casti there, so he's gone off the track, and I wonder what's happened to him. He is on 100% EOS, so that's quite strange. What's happened to the Sauber driver there? Was he on a lap? Did he make a mistake? Here he is towards the line now. He puts himself into P8. Just like last Copo goes into P8 behind Keith, who's 3,000 quicker than the Red Bull driver. It's so packed here. What can the other Ferrari do with P13? There's in Mills, but he's not going for a lap so far. He's making his way back in the pit lane because he's got no fuel left in that car to make another lap time happen. My Ford Wasp was down there 60th place as well, so not having the best time here in Singapore with a 28.3. Currently 9/10 off the pace is the Aston Martin My Ford Wasp. But however, his teammate is on the other end of the field, currently in P2 so far. So let's see then. Energy Dan, who is tantalisingly close to a podium this season, but misses out due to not having the pace in the second stint or not being there, or also picking up penalties in a situation where he could win or be on the podium, especially back at the British GP, where he was in the lead or fighting for the lead. But unfortunately, when that first round of pit stops came, he picked himself up a 10-second time penalty and dropped him down the field. Energy Dan currently 10th up so far. Where is his nearest competitors? I say where Martin and Klusler is. That's where he's looking to aim for. Depends if he could try and find more time in this last set. It is a very difficult track, full of commitment through here. No hesitation as the wall's coming at you thick and fast. And now we're coming towards the final two corners. Where can Alpine put Energy Dan? Sorry, where can the Energy Dan put the Alpine? He goes up into P14 then with a 28.1, so just behind him in P13 as our main contenders come out on the circuit then for this last part of qualifying. This is really interesting. I have no idea who's going to take pole around here at the streets of Singapore. It could be anybody. Let's go up with Keith in the McLaren. He's currently 400 down in the first sector, but he can still make it up in the middle where you find most of your lap time, as he's 100 down in the middle sector. So he did find a bit of time comparison, but he lost it at turn 14. Just the back end of the car sliding and drifting. And unfortunately for him, his lap time has been ruined then. He's got 1 minute 20 seconds left on the clock to make another lap time happen. Here comes Martin out of the third corner. What can he do with the 27.9? Has he got any more time in hand? And here we are, flicking it into turn number 5, kind of much minimum speed as you can, as you want to get as close to the wall as possible. Kevin Magnussen got a bit too close and gave himself a puncher. Here we are, for the first set, 600s up on his previous best, but we know he can find more time in the middle and last part of the track, so can he make it up in the middle? Here we are then. Out of the corner, flick it in, carrying the wide angle there to try and carry as much speed as you can before we head down towards turn 8 and turn 9. This is a very tricky part of the track indeed. So you want to ride the curbs, but at the same time, be very wary of the wall on the inside there. Went a bit deep as well, out of turn 12, I believe it is, or turn 10, sorry, as we come through the Anderson Bridge. This is turn 12, straight up the car, get back on the power, and that's going to be very difficult in the race as well, because if you were riding behind somebody with heavy fuel, wearing out tyres, it's so easy to make a mistake through there. Lock it up is going to be a big problem at a particular part of the track. But who can manage it the best? Who can manage a full heavy fuel car? And here we are then through turn 18 and turn 19. Martin makes his way to the corner with the DRS enabled very shortly before we flick it in towards the final two corners. Martin's going to cross the line now. It's second place. Wow. Wasn't expecting that. As Smoke goes quickest now with a 27.4. He takes provisional pole as everybody else is on their lap then. So the dying stages are qualifying, and we'll see who could try and take pole away from Smoke. He's only got it by about 300 of a second there, as the 27.4 club is happening. 4 people on a 27.4. Martin into P4, Adams into what can Zidane do in the Ferrari, who's had his pole snatched away from him, but can he take it back? We didn't see what his first sector was, as I got on board with him a bit too late there, but now, at turn 13, what can he do in this middle sector? We still got Atlas Copo and Mansell set a lap time. Zidane is flying out there. He is 3/10 up in the middle sector. Can he keep it nice and tidy now? Burmeister goes across the line to go up to P3 in the Williams, a much better qualifying. And Aston Martin, it takes pole with a 27.0. Zidane has just invalidated on the exit. That's a very painful lap indeed for Zidane there. He was improving, looking to take pole, but took up his curve on the inside of turn 18, and it cost him a validation, and it cost him potentially pole position. So Mansell is back on pole with a 27.0. These are fast lap times coming in thick and fast indeed. With Atlas Copo is not on a lap time. Klusler calls Atlas a couple of tenths in the last corner, says Lord Daddy Boy. So I believe Klusler got in the way of Lord Daddy Boy, Atlas Copo, sorry. So we'll see if that's true or not, and that could be a misdemeanor there for Klusler, who's down to P14, not having the best qualifying session indeed. But I've got somebody in the party with me, and it is Charlie Smith. So welcome to the party, mate.
Hello, I'm just checking, is my mic okay?
Oh, that sounds lovely indeed.
Yeah, new mic. All okay?
Yeah, it sounds brilliant, mate.
Brilliant. I will need an invite to the lobby.
Can you ask somebody, because my settings are on crossplay and I can't turn it off, unfortunately, during the session. If you could try and, I don't have your EA or something like that, so can you ask somebody else, please, if you don't mind?
Yeah, I'll just request to join through the through that.
It sounds a lot clearer. I can actually hear your voice now, crispy and clear. Make sure your voice is shared too, because it is a new mic or whatever.
Yes, I'll double check that now.
So Mansell takes his first pole of the season with a 27.0 by a big margin. That's 4 tenths separating, or 3 tenths separating Smoke and Mansell. Xenon P3, he could have took pole, but unfortunately made a big mistake, which cost him a chance being on pole or on the in second place. It was that turn 16 where he validated, took too much curb at the exit. Xenon P3, that's good qualified still. Burmeister 4th ahead of championship contender. Adams in P5, Martin 6th ahead of Alex Cooper. MCFC, a much better qualifying. Lord Alem in P9 ahead of Keith, Calvin in Mills, Michael Wars, Klusler, Energy Dan Casti, and Wayseth in P17. Qualifying is done, and we move on to the race. And it's going to be a very interesting race because in qualifying, all the timings were very close indeed. So we could see a super close race around here in Streets of Singapore. I don't feel well either, Charlie, so I'm very happy that you're here with me.
Yeah, one thing I do know is Energy Dan is usually quite quick around here, but it's quite surprising to hear him down in P15. So, yeah, share voice is allowed, just have to double check that. Should be able to spectate now. And I'm just sorting these settings out, bear with me, I'm going to go grab a drink as well.
Right, no worries, Charlie. So you can hear the true accent of that mic there for Charlie Smith, the true Liverpool accent, the Scouse. Or the Canadian Scouse, as I like to call him, because he was born in Canada.
Scouse, not English.
Took a bit of time to warm up to qualifying, but I should be okay now, as I can get fully focused and ready for the race and try and bring you the entertainment and action like I've done for the past 13 rounds in Div 2 and the past 12 rounds, or 11, sorry, in Div 1 because we missed a race. So I would like to say, guys, now we've got a bit of time to ourselves, that I really do appreciate your comments, by the way. Like, in different leagues, it's where I get the support everywhere, and it means a lot to me. It really does. I really enjoy commentating for you guys in Div 2 and Div 1 and any other league because it makes me happy. I've got something to do at the end of the night too, and all your comments flooded in, and every single message I receive, whether it's a private DM or a tag on the Discord, that's all your comments mean a lot to me. So I really do appreciate the support, and I'm really happy that I can provide all you guys entertainment and stream every single race. I'm trying to make it every race as well. I missed one race in Belgium, but I'm still making it in every single race in Div 1. I didn't miss a single race last season for Division 1 either, but I'm quite consistent, which is quite good, but unfortunately not on the track, so that needs to be improved. But we can see that the hardcore powered tyres could be used in the second stint because the mediums are not quite sufficient as the hardcore powered tyres. So I think the mediums to hards is the better strategy because the mediums are just not a good race tyre anymore like they used to be. And I did a race around here a few days ago, and the mediums to hards were a better strategy because I paid the price in the first stint. The mediums were absolutely shocking. I just lost the rear end every time I went around the corner, and the grip and the traction was not there. But once we went on the hardcore powered tyres, the grip was there for the whole second stint. I love the hardcore powered tyres. It's very durable, very grippy indeed, although it's not supposed to be grippy, but it's a good race tyre to be used as it's used for long endurance.
Yeah, I personally... Oh, I don't know if that's gone weird a little bit. Is Michael good still?
Yeah, your mic is good.
Yeah, but yeah, it's a weird track. I mean, the softs, they don't touch the softs around here from my experiences in the practice sessions. Personally, I would go for the hard medium, but it's a bit of a tough one, to be honest. It's definitely a bit of a tough one.
And they've counter-predicted your strategy there, and it's mediums to hards they're going to do. Only a few people in the hards, so mediums to hards is the way to go because something about the medium compound tyre where it just doesn't seem that great, and MCSC has already been disqualified. He's on the hard compound tyre, he's going to have stone cold hards on the grid, so he won't have the grip and the launch of the line he needs. And it's a great qualifier for MCSC because he has been struggling, admittedly. He was going to give up his seat as well last week, but he's still hanging on in there, and we'll see what he could do.
Yeah, but the problem is, Well, the hards take a long time to warm up. Calvin on the hards, he's going to be going long into the race on those hards. I'd probably say about 5 laps, 6 laps before the hards come properly into service over the mediums. But it'll be a bit of a tough one, to be honest, for a lot of people. Cluse, from my memory, is quite quick here on race pace. So should be able to do quite well from that P14. Cassidy had a few spins in the practice sessions that we did. Dan did indeed struggle quite a bit, even though it is quite his favourite track. And that'll be an interesting one. I do personally think that MCFC will drop like a stone in the first couple of laps, and I think Calvin might be able to make up a few positions by the time the first pit window comes around.
We'll see then, as Mansell is looking to take redemption after being beaten on the line by Smoke in Azerbaijan. He just got him. Smoke played his cards very well after he didn't go for the move in turn 1 or turn 3. He left it until the very last opportunity to out-drag him. And also Mansell was going for his second consecutive win in Baku as well after winning there last season. So the top 2 as it was, but the other way round this time with Mansell on pole. We'll see then what happens going down into turn number 1 with Zeno in P3. Another great qualifying so far, but he messed up on his final lap. But we'll see what the Norwegian driver could do, as 17 drivers then lapping the grid with Waitstead and Cassidy there, filling up 16th and 17th place then. So we'll wait the lights around here in the streets of Singapore, the first night race in 2008, and we'll see what happens going down into turn 1. Safety car wasn't introduced at the Singapore Grand Prix, but could be today with the 5 lights about to go out. And we are underway. What a great launch from the Alpine driver. Mansell immediately chops him off and goes towards the inside line, going down into 1. That's a great overtaking him. Burmeister versus Seenham as we go down towards turn 3. There's a Red Bull off the track. Martin squeezes it through. He's up into P6 there ahead of the Williams driver, Lord Alem. Mindful Wasp is now up to P10 in the Aston Martin, but still alongside him. Will he go down the inside of turn 5? A tight corner like that. He backs off and remains in P5 for the time being then. So Mansell leads him away on lap 1 as he's currently in second place. There is Smoke with the guys behind him squabbling away. Mindful Wasp is all over the back of him, goes down the inside this time, give a bit of a squeeze, and he goes off the track. Just keep. Here comes in Mills now, trying to go around the outside, but there's no room around the outside. He has to settle in as Lord Adam and Martin is swapping up places there, going into turn 7, and we'll see then. Can Martin try and remain side by side? We'll see if he can try and go to the inside. He can. A bit of a touch there from Lord Adam from the wall, but he goes around the outside now. Nice switchback maneuver indeed as he goes up into P6 ahead of the RB driver.
Martin going straight back for it there into, I think that's turn 13. Quite a risky move there for Martin, for both of them risky. Very well done. Martin, I think, hitting my in towards the hairpin corner. Emil's going around the outside of Keith's now into what is the new DRS straight. What a switchback, what a launch for Emil's on that exit. Nice to see the Ferrari back up to P10. Dan with an amazing start from, I believe, P15 up 2 positions. MCFC with an absolute horror down to P15 from, I believe, P8. That's 7 positions lost. Mansell is looking very quick though.
So the first phase, Mansell didn't get away great as Smoke was able to get a better launch, but Mansell immediately went left to cover him off and prevented him going down the inside. That's why he remains the lead of the Grand Prix. So good strategy there, but Smoke is immediately all over the back of him as we exit turn 5 with the DRS wide open, like it was at the back of the Grand Prix. He's underfueled the car, and here we go then. Is this immediate move? He goes towards around the outside, into turn 7 we go. Has to go the long way round, can't quite do it, and has to stay behind him so far. So that's the first threat as Martin and Lord Ada once again squabbling away, as Martin has the inside line, remains ahead of the Williams driver. But these two squabbling in the first lap has allowed the train to break away. And the top 5, are broken away from the rest of the pack, which left these two to continue fighting. Lord Adams lost his end plate there. I believe he lost it due to turn 13 because Martin gave him a bit of a tap in the breaker zone, which put Lord Adam in the wall. So I suspect that's the reason why he lost his wing. And now Lord Adam will be struggling with the lack of downforce as we continue the battle for first and second there with Smoke all over the back of him. Burmeister just waiting in the wings. Zena's following in too, with the championship leader in 5th place, putting pressure on the Ferrari ahead of us as well. So the top 5, these are the top 5. We'll see then what happens as Smoke took a lot of curb into turn 16. I believe he might have picked himself up a invalidation there or warning. So that's his first warning gone, and he's got to make sure for the rest of the race he doesn't pick up another one.
Yeah, Bearmeister looking quite quick there as well, nearly pulling their way out of Xenon's DRS. Xenon seems to be struggling a bit. Adams off the track there through turn 1 and 2, hitting the inside curb, just bounced them out a bit. Martin's got quite a bit of gap to make up here. This could be a very lonely race for the Scot. He's out of the DRS though, Lord Elam, so that should help him quite a bit. Lord Elam is locking up a bit as well, which...
Smoke go for an overtake. He just hit the wall there as Mansell tries to cover the inside line, but Smoke had to go to the wall. But luckily, I don't think he's lost the template there. As Atlas Copo now goes down the inside off the track, and Lord Elam might get him back. Under braking, he does. Around the outside goes the Williams driver. So Atlas Copo tried to make a move and try and get ahead of the injured Williams there, but couldn't quite do it. And Lord Atlas Copo stayed behind, like it was with Sergio Perez being stuck behind Franco Colapinto. Atlas Copo does not want to be held up longer because obviously later on Lord Elam will lose a lot of pace with that broken front wing. So Atlas Copo has to find a way through very quickly with all the guys right behind him.
Smoke's going to go for it. Out the outside. Oh, he needs to try and work on that switch back there through that corner. That's where he seems to get so much pace. Xenon was, well, Bearmeister was nearly out. Here comes Smoke. He's going to go off the inside this time. He should get the move done. Mansell's still going to fight it. Nice battle in between these two. A lot of respect given between the two of them.
This is a fantastic battle indeed between these top two. They go for it early stage of the Grand Prix. Usually you settle to a rhythm, and Xenon and Adams has continued fighting away. Xenon outbroke himself into turn 13, which allowed Adams to be all over the back of him. Now, these two have dropped out of the DRS range, which means that the top three can pull away. Mindful Wasp is ahead of Atlas Copo, and like I said, Martin could close in because he's right behind these two actually. MCFC picks himself up a 3 second time penalty, but will Mansell fire back, or will he settle into a rhythm now and stay behind him in his DRS? Because Smoke was very aggressive in the first opening laps of the race, where you just want to settle down, follow into a DRS train, but Smoke wants to take the lead immediately with Adams all over the back of Xenon once again. He's not able to overtake the Ferrari, so the Ferrari is defending really well against the championship leader.
Wasp and Elam making contact there through turn 5, I believe that is. Looks like Elam went wide a little bit, came back on the track, and Wasp just kind of went into him. But the confusing thing for me is Bearmeister was dropping off the DRS where Xenon is right now. He was basically a second off. And then Xenon, by the end of the next straight, was a second off him. So there's clearly been maybe a spin, half spin, something like that. But Bearmeister then gained 5-6 tenths on the guys in front.
Keith tries to go down the inside of turn 12, but couldn't quite pay it off. Goes squeeze against the wall. Now he's under pressure from Klusler, and Energy Dan got two cars beside him. Energy Dan backs out of it. Klusler's still on the inside.
MCFC too.
Keith has lost a place there towards Klusler as he tries to go down the inside, but it was a bit too tight, and he hit the wall in the entry too, so which cost him a lot. And now he's down into 12th place. His McLaren driver. His teammate though is still putting pressure on Xenon in front of him. Xenon is still in 4th place there with Adams with multiple attempts trying to go down the inside, but can't find a way through as the top three once again left alone in this race.
It's that was a very interesting battle. I saw Cassidy's into the pits, first one in on those hards. I suspect either damage or a retirement for the Salbit. But yeah, I saw Calvin, he got so much of a run on Dan, he had to brake so early compared to Dan, and then MCFC just dove right around the outside and nearly got the move stick, and Klusler has now lost the place.
Down the inside goes Adams. Sorry to interrupt there, but it's a very optimistic move, and he lost traction too. And now through goes Martin. I thought that was a very optimistic move there because Zeno had the corner, but Adams went for a very late launch. Here comes Martin now. Martin side by side with Zeno. Would he dare go for it? Not in a place you want to do it, of course.
Wasp in the DRS now as well. Wasp is back into the DRS. 3.5 second gap to the front three. Bearmeister's barely hanging on to those two guys in front of him. Mansell just seems to be just conserving tyres at the minute, which I believe is probably the best thing to do considering the state of the race we're in, and it's a very long way to go.
A very long way. These guys have compromised themselves, not following this DRS train, fighting too hard in slow speed corners, which allowed the rest of the pack to be back into play because they were split up, that pack, and now they're back together. So one big DRS train again from P4 all the way down towards the 11th place there, with Lord Adam just sticking the DRS, but we know he's currently suffering with full wind damage, so we know he's going to be out of the DRS from there. And then he's got Atlas Copa right behind him too. The top three remain to pull away. Looks like they've sorted down now for first, second and third as Adams goes off the track, takes the escape road, and he might lose a place. He does. Mindful Watts goes up into P6 there, so Adams outbraking himself and goes off the track, which allows the Aston Martin to go through. Mindful Wasp in particular did not have a good qualifying session. He didn't. He started P13, he's up to P6, so great recovery drive so far from the Aston Martin driver of Mindful Watch. But here comes Martin up the inside, into 7 we go. That's a very nice move, and he did what Adrian's failed to do and take on Zeno. He's up to P4 now, but the problem is the gap's 4.2 seconds between third and fourth, so that's a long way to catch.
Yeah, it's a very long way to catch, even, especially around here. Mansell is starting to drop a little bit there. 7/10 now, he's back in the 6/10. I'd say the range you want to be in for an overtake is about 4 to 5
Martin's
tenths.
crashed! Martin's hit the wall at the exit of the Anderson Bridge, and he's just lost his wing there. Picked up the throttle too early and slammed into the wall. Now he's broken his front wing.
Martin's got a pit, and that is costly. Very costly. He had the chance of holding him, and there he goes again. That's got to be that. If I'm getting investigated, he's got to be investigated. Come on, Martin, you investigate me. Yeah, that is interesting. No one should pit. It's too early to go for the hards. And no, they're in. Mansell's in. Bearmeister's in. Zenon's in. They're all coming in. I don't agree with that. They'll have to pit again.
I agree. Smithy, I did a race around here.
Oh, Scopo.
The hardcore power tyres can go a very long way, believe it or not. The mediums can't. They wear out very quickly, but the hardcore power tyres are so durable. The maximum amount of wear I had doing a long stint of the hardcore power tyres was about 60% on the rear end, and that was a lot of laps I did. So the hardcore power tyres are very durable. So I think this is a good strategy call. They can take them towards the end, and they'll come out then with Smoke, who hasn't pitted. The top two of the Alpine drivers hasn't pitted. I thought Energy Dan would try and do hard, medium, but I think he'll try and make these hards to go a long way before he goes on the medium power tyres. And MCFC and Calvin is still out there too. So we'll see then. This second half of the race, has Smoke in the Alpine made the right decision? All he needs now is a second safety car to bring it back into play.
MCFC's crashed.
What the hell? Where's that?
He's just crashed in the safety car.
Where is he?
He was behind Calvin. He's next to Mansell now. Exit of 10-6.
Wow, that's a very strange place. No, not a strange place to crash, but it's very strange doing on a safety car.
Yeah, I mean, I did clip it to have a quick look because I missed it completely. I was looking down at some stats on my phone, so let's have a quick look. Oh, it was a glance. It was a very slight glance into the wall. What I've seen, he's just gone wide very slightly through turn 6, and it's the unluckiest incident ever, to be honest. It's a glance into the wall, not even a glance. He's scraped it the tiniest bit, took his tyre off, and out of the race he goes. And that is unlucky for MCFC. Good chance at a good result here. But going back to the point of the safety car, Lord Alarm getting a 3 second under the safety car now. Going back to the strategy, I personally don't agree with you. I personally think best thing to do was stay out, because the longer you wait, more chance of a safety car again, because as they say in IndyCar, cautions breed cautions, because all the cars are so spread out, less chance of a safety car. As soon as they're brought back in, higher chance of incidents, higher chances of crashes, higher chances of anything. So, personally, I think we will see, as Cassidy now gets a 10 second, I personally think we will see another safety car, and I think that is when Smoke, Dan and Calvin will all pit, and they will be our top 3 at the end of this race, barring any incidents with the 3 of them.
And my counterpoint is that if another safety car doesn't come out, then it will benefit the likes of Burmeister and the guys who pitted with the first safety car. But it can go either way. We're both right in a way. It all depends if another safety car comes out or not. If another safety car doesn't come out, I'm right, and if another safety car does come out, then you're right. But it could go either way. We don't know what's going to happen in this Grand Prix, but if it goes plain sailing from here on in, Smoke's in a lot of trouble. We'll have to make a big deficit towards the end of the Grand Prix.
The thing is as well, Lewis Hamilton talked on the weekend of tyre offset during the race. Cassidy's going to go to the end by the looks of it. He's just swapped back onto the hards that he swapped off. So I think, if I'm correct, he's gone hard, medium, hard at the minute. So he started on the hards, pit on lap 4 for the mediums, and has pitted back now onto the hards to go to the rest of the race. So he's done his mandatory stop, and he can just go rest of the race now, 31 laps. on those tyres nearly. It will be 27 laps, now that I think back. But yeah, I think even with the safety car, the tyre offset, it will be a very interesting one. The tyre offset in terms of Smoke will be, well, in favour of Smoke. He'll have, say, another 7 laps on these tyres. He'd have a 8-lap tyre offset on the guys in front. And yeah, I think it'll be. I personally think this is Smoke's race to lose.
We'll see then. I think the likes of Mansell's the better place because Smoke, the pit lane loss is very long around here, almost 30 seconds. I don't know how much exactly, but pit lane loss, I should have known because I did have quite a few pit stops in that race because there was multiple safety cars, so I should know. But at the same time, though, Smoke's got a lot of deficit to make up once he makes his way out of the pit lane. He'll have that tyre offset, but at the same time, will it be enough to close in and catch? Now, the Baku Grand note, I got confused. I commentated around here in another league, and somebody went super long on the hardcore power tries, tried to get themselves a big tyre offset. They did, but they ran out of laps towards the end. They didn't even catch the likes of third, fourth place, which they were racing. So we'll see then. What's Smoke going to do? Is there another safety car to help him in this Grand Prix? Because if there isn't, he's in a lot of trouble there. The tyre offset will be big, but at the same time, can he close them down quickly? We'll see. And I think the guys in fourth place will have that big advantage as Smoke will be able to catch up towards the end of the Grand Prix. So we'll see then. The safety car should come in towards the end of this lap. Cassidy's been in the pit lane multiple times. I think the second one was to get rid of his 10-second penalty. He put on a set of medium compound tyres there, so he did speed in the pit lane. And you wouldn't be very careful, by the way, speeding in this game or speeding in the pit lane in general, because you pick up a 10-second penalty and not a 5-second penalty because it's changed now. So it'd be very costly, and it cost Dan a lot of points because he was in the top 3 during the Silverstone Grand Prix, and he finished, I think, almost outside the top 10 during that Grand Prix, even though he was leading majority or being in that battle. So that can really cost you a 10-second penalty. It cost Harry Kane back in Belgium, and he lost a lot of points due to that too, trying to hunt down Laser in the championship as that Div 1 battle continues to go on. But so far, where's Adams? Currently down in P10, his championship rival, his nearest one, is P4. So currently Mansell's the advantage as the safety car comes in towards the end of this Grand Prix, so it could continue. But I don't think Cassidy, maybe, I don't know, but Cassidy's a long way back, so hopefully for his sake he can catch up.
He's being limited. Looks like his car's being limited. I'm on board with him right now. Depends how late Smoke goes. He might be able to pick up about 10-second gap. But let me get his telemetry up. He is doing okay so far. It looks like Smoke's going to go. There we go, it's gone.
So the safety cars come in then at the end of lap 9. We could continue racing once again then. So keep an eye on the guys on fresher tyres with Burmeister all over the back of Mansell. But they've got to make sure they can make their way through as quickly as they can without making any sort of mistakes or contacts behind people on all the tyres, because fresher tyres, obviously you're carrying more speed to the corners. You've got to be very wary and have your wits about you, because I've seen plenty of occasions where people make contact with people on all the tyres. And here we are, what's going to happen down here as we go down towards turn number 7. There was a brief yellow flag. I'm not quite sure who that was. Was it Keith? Did he drop back and close the 2? Did they make contact going down into turn 3? But I don't think they did. Here is the Aston Martin mindful wants a bit of contact there with Zenum and himself as the Aston Martin try to go down the inside, but wasn't enough space there, so he has to back out of it. Here's the McLaren driver, makes contact there with the Ferrari, and here comes Carlos Copo. Sorry, that's Lord Alem, sorry. Who goes down the inside of him. Remember, the safety car benefited him because he's able to take off that broken front wing and put a new one. He goes side by side with the McLaren, and Adams has to let him go. Great move indeed, elbows out stuff, and Adams has been pushed down to P11. So despite being in that DRS trend at the start, he's demoted into P11, has Lord Adam in between himself and his nearest competitors. He's lost out a lot of time, has the McLaren driver. But Mansell sets up a move now on Carvin racing ahead of us. These 2 or these 3 in completely different races now, completely different strategies, as Carvin's looking to take on Energy Dan going down in towards 16. It looks like Smoke is pulling away now from his own teammate, so his teammate could do a massive favour. Try and hold him up. Try and delay the inevitable, because we know it's going to happen on the difference of tyres there. With Mindful Wasp versus Zenum. Zenum's gone wide off the circuit, and Wayseth picks himself up a 3-second penalty as well for good measure. But now Zenum's all over the back, or Mindful Wasp is all over the back of Zenum there, putting pressure on the Ferrari ahead of us, but able to make a move going down into turn number 1. He's broken the DRS already, despite being fresh tyres. Looks like he's struggling as the Ferrari driver, not able to close in despite those guys in front of us. being held up with guys on older tyres there. With the DRS wide open, no moves being made down there. So I thought these guys on better tyres will make their way through quickly, but these hardcore power tyres are not too bad. Michael Wasp finally makes a move on the Ferrari driver ahead of us. And if you notice, Charlie, is there something different with the Ferrari engine? Sounds a bit weird.
I think it's different with a lot of engines. The Haas, not the Haas, the Alpine, the Sauber kick, whatever you want to call it. Red Bull sounds different, Mercedes sounds different, Williams sounds a little bit different, and definitely the Ferrari sounds very different.
Sounds like the 2014 Ferrari engine. The very bad car. Hill, that's Adams down the inside, caught me off guard there. But Adams down the inside of us goes up into P10 ahead of the Ferrari driver. And that was a very nice move indeed. You don't really see a lot of overtakes there, especially with guys on even tyres. And now, because Wade Seth is up into P12, that's a very nice move indeed, but gets switched back by Klusler, puts himself back into 12th place there. So it's a good move, but unfortunately went a bit too deep, and the Red Bull is let through.
Yeah, it was a good move, but an even better move from Klusler to get him right back. As just looking up and down the grid, Smoke keeping his teammate in the DRS, so forming a little DRS train. Man force with the 3-second time penalty, that could be costly towards the end of this race, that could give up a podium. But I think Smoke keeping a lot of these drivers in the DRS train all the way down to Xenon, maybe even out of Scopo if he can get back in. This could be quite crucial to the race. I think those mediums, they'll start to die. He'll have to swap with his teammates, and then maybe even swap with Calvin just to try and keep Mansell behind, as Atlas Scopo's still fighting with Adams there, and they're going right side by side through this 5, 6, 7. Nice move from Adams there to get, I believe, up to P9.
I think that Smoke is playing this very wisely. He's not pulling away. He knew he could pull away, but at the same time, do you know what? I got confused myself, because I think the medium core power tyres there are starting to drop off. I thought he was keeping his teammate in DRS range, which he is, trying to prevent Mansell overtaking him. And he's doing a fantastic job so far, but those medium core power tyres are starting to drop off for him. So expect him in the pit lane very shortly. Atlas Copo is under massive pressure from the Red Bull driver behind him, but he's not able to make a move. Now sorry about that. Now he is, goes side by side with the Red Bull, and he puts himself back into P9 ahead of Atlas Copo. Can Adams try and hunt down Lord Alem? I believe it was the other way around. I believe Atlas Copo overtook him, and Adams got him back because he was fighting with Lord Alem. Adams and Lord... Oh, that's very confusing. Lord Alem and Adams.
Yeah, that is... yeah, one thing I do remember, Adams is a Scotsman. Alem, I don't even know what he is. But Adams, very nice guy to talk to.
His flag.
Very nice guy to talk to in DMs.
Lord Adams' flag says he's for Pakistan, but here is Energy Dan. He's side by side with his teammate on the better hardcore power tyres, and he puts himself in the lead of this Grand Prix. And let's see then how it goes from here. He goes a bit deep. He picks himself up a 3-second penalty. That is very costly. A small mistake like that, going out wide at turn 7, picked himself up a penalty, and that is very painful indeed, knowing that he could have done something about it. But Burmeister and Mansell now putting big pressure on the guys on older tyres. They haven't made their way through like I thought they'd do, but maybe the hardcore power tyres are still good at this stage, the old hardcore power tyres, because they don't wear out too much like the mediums do. You can see the smoke is dropping off the cliff, and here is Calvin trying to go over the inside. Mansell's doing a switchback to the high line with a better exit, with the power of the DRS and the fresher tyres, of course. Now he goes side by side with the Sauber, who still has the DRS. Will he try and fire back underneath him? He does, as Mansell gets close to the wall. Mansell versus Calvin. Mansell gets a better exit. He does. He puts himself up into P3, and here comes the Williams driver, but he's boxed in with nowhere to go. Mansell's up into P3 now, puts a bit of a breathing space between himself and Burmeister. The Lord Ada picks himself up a 3-second time plus. Smoke is in the pit lane.
Smoke's in. Yep, smoke in. 14 laps, 20, is it 14? 16 laps to go. My bad, 14 laps. I don't know where I'm getting that from. Yep, 14 to go. Zen on 3-second time penalty. He'll be down into last is Smoke.
Oh,
should be.
Sorry about that, I had to put in there. Burmeister tried to overtake Calvin, but I believe they made contact, which gave Burmeister a bit of oversteer. And now Calvin's trying to come back around the outside. He's still fighting hard on the old hardcore power tyres. Neither driver, yes, Burmeister has DRS. Michael Wasp is taking advantage. He puts himself up into P5. Now,
this is going to get messy. This is going to get messy.
He's got swamped by the rest of the guys. And Lord Ada once again has broke his wing. And there's contact there. Is that Ferrari making contact again? And
Adams lost his front wing. Klusser in the wall. Klusser's lost his front wing. Xenon's, I believe, lost his front wing. That was very, very messy.
Yeah, the Sauber driver being an obstacle in the way got swamped by everybody, and some people lost their end plate too for good measure. Lord Adam once again has broke his end plate, so he's going to be suffering once again in that Williams. And Carvin maybe should consider a pit stop. It's a bit too early to go on the hardcore part, the medium compound tyres, because they won't go towards the end because they're dropping off like a cliff there. With Adams out under pressure from Klusler, I believe he picked himself up a bit of damage because we did see a bit of contact with the Ferrari and himself, and that's confirmation that Adams has broke his wing then, so his race has gone from bad to worse despite being inside the top 5 in the DRS train. Klusler's also lost his wing as they go side by side on this back straight as we go towards turn 16. There's a bit of contact happening between those two. Those two are slowing down. What's going on there?
Zenon's pitting. That's his race over, I think. I think we might see... Yeah, Adams in as well. The interesting thing, what happened was, Calvin, no DRS, so he was very slow down the straight. Of course, that happens with a lack of DRS, and he just couldn't do much. Zenon tried to go round the outside, tried to make it 3 wide, couldn't squeeze it, and yeah, got spun. Mansell up into the lead right now. Should see Energy Dan come in soon with Calvin. But yeah, round the outside, Zenon locked his rear tyres and got hit by Adams, and it was just a whole mess after that. And I believe we probably will get a steward report for that.
Oh, that's a shame there indeed for Zeno in P15. He's still going, by the way, so he's not caught it in the pit lane and retired. Klusler is ahead of his teammate. Alice Copo has made a big mistake now, and he was also one of those drivers that went off at turn 16. They both follow each other, cutting the corner, and he's lost his end plate too. So a bit of a messy start there. The first half of the Grand Prix, and I believe we're almost halfway through too. Energy Dan still hasn't pitted there. He's still on the hardcore bar tyres, but it's a bit too early to pit to go on the medium, so they'll try and elongate their stint.
Alice in the wall, same place as Martin, and surprised that hasn't retired him. But that, yeah, he's Alice in the wall. He should be pitting the end of this lap, and I presume for a new set. Alam into the pits. Calvin and Dan staying out.
I believe this is Mansell's race to win now. He's in a very good position in P1. He's got a car between himself and Burmeister. He needs to pull away from the Alpine to prevent Burmeister overtaking the Alpine and get himself a DRS race. But both Aston Martins running a good race here at the night race, like it was in Saudi Arabia, where we have a night race too, where both of them were on the podium that day. And Emos is ahead of Calvin Racing, puts himself up to P5. Done a good job, has to do the Ferrari driver, must be said. Didn't have a great qualifier session, but still, he's up there inside the top 5, where his Ferrari teammate should have been. But too many mistakes were made in the process, and it got a bit messy too between those guys who in the top 5 earlier in this stint when those guys broke the DRS from P6 downwards, as we saw Lord Alum going side by side with Martin. But Martin is our first retiree, so is MCFC as well, so those two have gone out this race. MCFC crashed under the first safety car at turn 7. So I'm not quite sure what happened there, but unfortunately he's out of this Grand Prix too after running in a higher place. As Mercedes in the background goes a bit wide out there. Who is that? That looks like it's Wayseth, who's giving way towards Keith. He's put himself now into P8 ahead of the Mercedes driver. But crucially now for Mansell's race, the gap is broken now. He's broken that 1 second range of DRS. He can pull away from Energy Dan, who will hold up Burmeister too. So this is Mansell's race to win after losing out on Baku, looking for redemption after losing it on the line. Mansell's in a very good place to win. I don't think Smoke is going to win this race. It's going to belong towards Mansell, unless otherwise a safety car comes out. But if a safety car does come out, those guys could pit on the medium compound tyres and take them towards the end too. So there is no way Smoke can win this Grand Prix, unfortunately for him. He's got to try and make sure there's damage limitation for him.
This lap needs to be an absolute stoking one, and it's not faster than his last. He's about 2/10 faster than Mansell per lap, which is nowhere near enough. Yeah,
so Mansell's got this to the back now. He can his mistakes, of course. Keith has had a Klusler. Klusler has pitted with that broken end plate, and he puts himself back into P7 and does the McLaren driver. But yeah, this is the situation so far with penalties on the circuit. I think Mills could be on course for a potential podium. We know Energy Dan's got to pit again, so he's going to go out of the equation. He's the outlier inside the top 5 there on the hardcore power tyres. Mindful Wasp has a 3-second time penalty. In Mills is just in range of that, although he's dropping off quite dramatically. The gap is now 2.2 to 2.9, so he is pulling away from in Mills, now 3 seconds. So Mindful Wasp, this could be a very good day for Aston Martin indeed, despite having a bit of difficult races there on Mindful Wasp's side. So can it be a double Aston Martin podium again? He's got to make sure that another safety car does not appear, because the guys will bunch up as Energy Dan is in the pit lane. Got to make sure there isn't another safety car. Close that goes a bit deep in turn 16. I thought it would go into the wall and cause safety car. That was very close indeed from crashing into the wall.
Commentator's curse there nearly. Cassidy doing quite well there on those mediums. 10 lap old, sorry, not 10 lap olds. P9 now on 9 lap old mediums, and he's doing quite well there, Cassidy. And considering how far back he was after that safety car, he's in quite a decent position there. Smoke and Dan, swap positions. Dan's still in the pit lane. Smoke, I think this is a lost cause for him. I don't think he'll even get 9th at this point. Maybe 8th is probably the limit for him, I think.
Let's see. Let me try and work it out here with Keith now overtaking Wade Seth. Wade Seth has run a pretty decent race so far. Finished or qualified outside the top 10. Where was he? 17th place, so literally last was Mercedes driver, but running a decent race so far. Currently inside the top 10. You do score points from first all the way down to 17th on this occasion. Mindful Wasp is right behind Burmeister. He needs to make sure he overtakes him quickly before Mills will drop him inside this penalty range. Doesn't do it down into turn 13 up close to it. This could be an Aston Martin 1-2, and this could be very handy for a day like this, because both McLarens, well, I say both McLarens, Adams in P11 there, not scoring the points he needs, especially for his championship fight against Mansell in P1. Mansell will bring the gap right down in the championship too. Keith is running a pretty decent race. He doesn't have to pit again, running in P6, and Carvin races right behind him Mills for P4 there, so this could get very interesting now between the Sauber and the Ferrari. And let's see, can Carvin make a move down his turn 1? He's too close, and he's too far behind, so he won't make a move down there. We'll wait for turn 7 when the second DRS range is activated. But Mindful Wasp is not close towards Burmeister. Now, I do forget that Burmeister is on the same tyre age as the rest. But this is good, though. Ferrari, Aston Martin.
Yellows.
Xenon stopped.
Xenon, he stopped. That is a very weird one. Seen him stop like that. Emil's overtaken by Calvin. Kluse, no, it's not Kluse, it's at the scope out. The lapped car behind. Calvin moving back up on those 18 lap old hards, and that is, really good to see.
Who's that Sauber going off in the background? That was Cassidy. He was ghosting through the Red Bull.
He's still got his end plate, doing quite well there to keep it. And I think at the minute, Calvin is really banking on a safety car. And you said Cassidy off in the background there, that could have been Crashgate 2.0 there, but we're all sorted for now. But yeah, Calvin really banking on a safety car.
Aston Martin are in a really good place here. They've got the Williams in second place, and Burmeister will be under massive pressure. He can't catch Mansell on pure pace, unfortunately for Burmeister, but he's also got Mindful Wasp out behind, so this is very good for both Aston Martins. Despite Mindful Wasp picking up a 3-second time penalty, it shouldn't affect him because the gap is 6.4 behind. Although, with 11 laps to go, a safety car could reappear, and that'll be Mindful Wasp's worst nightmare, because to be back on a level playing field in terms of tyres as they go to the pit lane, and also the guys behind, some of them not having a penalty either. So Mindful Wasp will be praying that a safety car does not come out in this Grand Prix.
Yeah, I think if we were going to get a safety car to really spice it up and ruin our voices, we'd need it to be 2 laps from now, to be honest.
I've been in situations like that before. Emils and Calvin side by side again. Emils gets it back ahead of the Sauber driver, back up into P4. I'm surprised Emils stopped pulling away from Calvin, despite being on the better hardcore power tyres. So Calvin with 20 lap old hards, he's doing a good job to keep up with the Ferrari and not letting him pull away. But the Ferrari's not pulling away from him as he needs to.
Yeah, the thing is, it's a 6 lap gap, which is only about maybe a 10th difference on the Delta, I think. About-ish. It's not that much in terms of the gap. But, yeah, I think we will see Calvin into the pit lane soon.
Mindful Wasp is still in the back of Burmeister trying to put him under pressure, but he can't find a way past the Dutchman in P2 there. So Mindful Wasp has just picked himself up another penalty. He can't afford to take these risks, you know. He really
Calvin's
can't.
Calvin's into the pits, and I think that is him conceding defeat into the gamble. As yeah, that is huge. And if I'm not wrong, let me just check these timings. Last lap for Mansell 31.6, 31.4 for Burmeister. 2/10 quicker than our current race leader, and he's improving again through that first sector. So this will be very, very interesting. However, Mansell does have the benefit of Lord Alam's DRS at the minute.
There goes the car. His teammate, Burmeister's teammate's not helping. Giving
needs to let him through.
Giving Mansell the DRS. They'll get another dose of DRS on this second straight or third straight. Mansell. So this is really helping him. So Burmeister will be praying that his teammate gets out of the way very quickly. And Lord Alem is on 1 lap on medium compound tyres. So theoretically, Lord Alem should pull away being on the medium compound tyres. But if Mindful Wasp could stick in that DRS and DRS him along, that'll be very painful for Burmeister because the gap is 2.8 as it was 1.6 a lap ago.
Yeah, the thing is though, he should be well out the way by now. And I think rules are 3 marker boards, 3 marker posts, and you've got to be out the way. He's gone through about 20 marker posts with those blue flags. So in theory, he should have well let him past. Xenon with the fastest lap of the race now, P14.
On the soft compound tyres, of course, in P40, so trying to get a consolation point as both of them, Alice Copo and Xenon, who scored their first podiums together back in Imola, are down there in 14 to 15 then, so not the race they would have hoped for after a strong qualifying. Energy down is up to P10 ahead of our championship leader of Adams, but this is a very disappointing race from Adams in P11 because Mansell will gain a lot of points in the championship and continue to put Adams under massive pressure too. With Sonic Hawk not being here, I think Burmeister and Carvin and Cassidy will leapfrog him and they move at one place together.
And what's worse for Adams is he's on yellow fuel. He's underfueled the car. He will need to start doing some lift and coast to make it to the end of this race in that 3-second gap of the energy tan, which would guarantee him P10. As yeah, there we go, straight into turn 5. As soon as I mention it, on the lift and coast, well off the throttle, heading into that corner.
Funny because despite a safety car, he's still not able to save enough fuel up for the end of the race. So we've had a safety car in this Grand Prix and he's still got the yellow light. So that indicates how much he's underfueled the car, expecting safety cars around here, as you do predict as well, because this is a very difficult track. Easy to make contact with the walls, easy to make contacts with other drivers too. So he'll be hoping for safety cars try and save fuel. But where is Smoke? He's down in P9. He's on the back of Cassidy and this train. So he's caught up to these guys here. The most he'll get, I believe, is P6 or P5. I don't think he'll catch in Mills. But Keith, it must be said, he's done a fantastic job so far in this race. In P5 will be another solid result for our 2-time race winner in SFR this season. And let's see then, will he be able to defend from the likes of Smoke, who is going to chase him down towards the end of this race too. First target though is Cassidy in the Sauber, and we'll see how easy or difficult to get past him. Despite the tyre advantage, the DRS is there, but he's stuck in the DRS range, although Cassidy gets a bit wide out of turn 5, so Smoke has all the encouragement he needs to get past him, now side by side, and he doesn't make it difficult. He puts himself up into P8 now. Next target is Wayseth. The man that started last, he's up into P7, has driven a decent race so far. Can he remain inside the top 10 with Klusler up there in P6? Look at that, the traction he gained and the speed he had in the corners to get all of the back of the Mercedes very quickly. So here we are now. I don't think he'll go for it into the next corner as it's very risky, although might try.
He's gone for it. Oh, nearly.
Backed out of it, of course. He doesn't want to try and make any sort of crazy moves. As we head down towards 13, is there a place? Nope, there isn't. And now he should get a decent exit out of here with the traction and the tyre advantage. He's got him. He puts himself up into P7. That was a very standard overtake. He puts him there into 7th place. And now nowadays with a tie to the pit lane. Is that a safety car? I don't think it is.
Ooh, we got excited there. Yeah, I mean, you could say Smoke's gone way past Wayseth there. I'll see myself out after that one. Instead on 3-second time penalty, and just a quick one. On board with Adams, using my very dodgy eyesight, I've pulled myself forward in my chair, and I can see minus 1.6 heading onto this lap. So he needs to lift and close quite a bit, and I can, if you look in quite far into the top right of his steering wheel, you should be able to see his fuel delta, which is how I figured out actually he's on yellow light. Smoke and Cluser. Yeah, Smoke and Cluser getting past each other. Smoke up to P6 now.
Oh, I thought you said minus 1.6 there, but you meant minus 0.16, didn't you?
Yeah, sorry. Minus 0.16, not minus 1.6.
But I say, he will be able to
he's not. So he's still got a chance, but he's still going to have to do quite a bit of lift and coasting behind Energy Dan, and that.
Charlie's left the party, so I believe he's just like that, so it's just me. So he was going to say something before he left the party. He said I might, so he probably said I might like that, which he has. Charlie unfortunately has left us, but there's 6 laps left to go. If you can make it back, Charlie, join quickly. If you can't, thank you for commentating with me and keeping me company in the commentator box. It's meant a lot, so it saved me because I have slept throughout the whole day. I'm feeling ill. I've got a massive headache and also got other personal problems, so that's why my commentary hasn't been 100% tonight. I'm not really focused, but Cassidy has dropped backwards. He's gone into the pit lane to get rid of his old midi compound tyres. Might drop backwards towards Zeno, although he's a lap down, so he's at Las Copas, so he should rejoin in P12. But Charlie, thankfully, has rejoined the session, and I think Cassidy now on his older medium compound tyres, so we didn't really have another set of softs in his disposal to use towards the end. He's back on the medium compound tyres he started the race on, so that's quite interesting indeed. As the gaps are settled down now with P1 and P2 and P3, Mansell was under massive pressure towards the whole of Baku, but now he's in a comfortable lead. He's got to make sure he doesn't pick himself up a 3-second penalty because he's right there to take it. There's a Ferrari who's going for a spin. Who is that? Is that Zenum again in 13th place? I think it is. Yeah, it is. It's him. Yes. I thought it was a Mills because he was there at that particular part of the track.
Yeah, it's a bit of a bad one there for the Ferrari and the eyesight there.
Are you okay, Charlie?
Yes, I accidentally turned my PlayStation off. Well, to be exact, I got a new telly and I accidentally turned. I'm still getting used to this new remote. Turn the telly off, which automatically turned my PlayStation off. So yeah, new telly, just not the same PS5 issue. My telly also does that as well. When I turn off the telly, it turns off the PlayStation. That's very annoying. I hate it when it does that. Yeah, that was a complete accident on my end. Don't worry, admins, I have not got that issue back again. Of course, I had issues earlier in the season with my PlayStation turning off mid-race. And I kind of got scared for half a second, then I realised, oh, I'm holding the remote and I'm holding the off button. But yeah, Smoke going for P5 now, and this will be an interesting one for Smoke if he can get there.
Here he is then, putting pressure on Keith just in front of us. Waits there, I think Klusler still fighting the Mercedes and the Red Bull going wheel to wheel into turn 8. Waits at the outside line. Can he get a better exit, or can Klusler hang in there? As we go towards the left hand, we go into turn 9. Waits there late on the brakes, but Klusler does a lovely switchback. He puts himself all back into P8. But they're still side by side again as Waits there late to the brakes, swoops around the outside and stays in P7. This is great passing as he goes a bit wide as he slides out the corner. This is bringing Energy down and Ado's into play. Klusler does a switch back as we go towards turn 12. We go under the Anderson Bridge. Smoke is ahead of Keith as he puts himself up into P5 ahead of the McLaren driver. The gap is 4 seconds, put himself in the Mills. Can he get him? That's the question. Can P4 is the most he can get today?
And that will be a good recovery for Smoke, I think. And I will have to agree with you. Right strategy. Here comes Energy Dan.
There he is. Could he take 2 for 1? Will he dare go down the inside of the Mercedes? He does. He goes for it, sneaks his way through, and there is Ados on the curb there trying to get past the Red Bull. As you have to take over, Smithy, I just damaged my voice.
Oh, you okay, mate? Go get some water. Maybe some strepsils as well. I hope you're alright. Yeah, Dan, as they say, bog off, buy one, get one free. Nice little move by him down the new straight, of course, changed last year at Singapore, his favourite track. Would love to see Dan get a nice result here, as, yeah, by far his favourite track. Calvin back to P9, now Clousset in P10, seems to have lost another position, as Wayseth and Clousset lost 2 positions in one there, 3 positions in one, to Adams, Calvin and Dan in a matter of corners. In towards turn 5 they went, from turn 23. Dan seems to be okay at the minute. Adams, maximum he can get is P8 at the minute. Sorry, yeah, P8 is the maximum he can get. I'm sure on that. Unless Calvin has a spin. Smoke has gained 2.5 seconds on a Mills in the last 2 laps, or the last lap I think it is actually. So maybe his tyres now coming properly into it. And I'm actually going to have a little spy at the gap to the leader. 18 seconds, absolutely no chance in 3 laps, barring any catastrophic accidents for Mansell or Bearmeister. As I'll just check the lap time, 31.3 for...
Can I say something? I might throw this into our proportion here, but if Smoke has a big pace advantage, and with My 4 Wasp picking up to 6 second time penalty, could My 4 Wasp be in danger of a podium? But that depends though, if Smoke continue with his pace, and also overtaking Mills as quickly as he can.
And Emil's has been, well, not helped, I'd say probably disadvantaged by his teammate there, letting Smoke get the DRS on his on the left car, and I actually had a little bit of a heart attack there. I wanted to shout, Emil's has spun. No, it's just the left car of his teammate, absolutely ghosted right behind him. Smoke now 1.2 behind. He needs to get past him as soon as possible, and then I think the thing is we need to compare lap times next time round. Not even next time round, I think this time round. I mean, we've got DRS here, he needs to get past him into turn 5, then he's got 3 laps to instantly pull back in, plus any mistakes from My 4 Wasp and any more warnings from My 4 Wasp to go along with that. As I'll actually have a quick look now, he's picked up a warning, lap 28, so could pressure get to him and he could pick up another warning, and then one warning leads to another around here. So we could see pressure get to Wasp, as he looks through turn 1 and 2 to be very cautious, so clearly does not want to be giving up that podium.
I think Smoke could be on the podium here tonight. He's got a pace advantage, and My 4 Wasp could have given himself that 6 second time penalty and be off the podium at the same time. So My 4 Wasp looks very comfortable.
Here we go.
And here comes Smoke now, easy overtake with the DRS and the tyre advantage. He puts himself into P4. So keep an eye on the gap. The gap is 7.7. All he needs is 1.5 seconds to close in, and that's it. With the pace advantage he has, the way he's going, My 4 Wasp will not be in the podium here. He's in danger so far, is the Aston Martin, by picking up too many penalties. And like I said, he was on in, but actually Smoke's got some blistering pace, and that might not be the case for My 4 Wasp anymore.
And you know what, Smoke, he's done really well to recover, in my opinion. He's done an absolute cracking job, considering 30 odd seconds back, he will finish about 10 seconds off the lead, I'd say. Maybe, no, not 10. 12 seconds off the lead, so that's 18 seconds. Any normal track, other than Singapore's 30 second really slow pit lane, he would win this, but it is a shame that he has this. And of course, the hards last forever around here, so that is again not in his advantage. So I think any other track he'd win, because it's Singapore. It's a really good recovery though.
And P3 could be his reward despite his pit-stop strategy not going his favour. The gap is 6.5. The gap is 5 tenths between Smoke and My 4 Wasp. All he needs is about 5 more tenths, and he's under the penalty range. But Smoke has got to make sure he doesn't pick himself up 83 second penalty, because that'll be over for him. So a chance for a podium is on the cards for Smoke tonight. That all depends though. Can he get the gap under 6 seconds, which he should, with the pace advantage he has. Alex Corpo taking a fastest lap there with a 29.6 on the medium compound tyres, as he's had a dismal race so far, been a lap down, so we've seen him there. 2 difficult races there for the both drivers who picked up a podium together. Their first podium together back at the Imola Grand Prix. They're still searching for their first race win of the season is Zeno and Alex Copo. They've been thereabouts, but unfortunately too many mistakes have been made on both sides tonight.
Just a quick one. Smoke's got him. Well, he had him for half a second. And then there we go. He's got him again down the straight. 5.989 and he's back out. Looks like Martha Wasp is absolutely wringing the tyres off at the minute. And just going to double check. Has he got any more warnings? He has picked up another warning.
Which one?
That's Martha Wasp. Well, it can't be a collision. So it's obviously going to be a corner cutting.
No, I mean, like, what I meant is which driver. That's what I meant.
Martha Wasp has picked up 2.
There's a yellow flag down there. Is that Keith? I'm not quite sure. It's the Ferrari. It's the Ferrari, sorry.
Yeah, it's the Ferrari then on. So Martha Wasp 5.4. Yeah, that's it for him. Emil's is the one to look at though. Has just one penalty warning away, and that's it for Martha Wasp. He's thrown away a podium already. Not thrown away, I mean it. Oh, he's in the wall there. He's hit the wall there through turn 6. But yeah, one more penalty warning, and he's not only got rid of a podium, he's gotten rid of a top 4 as well, which could be crucial in terms of the constructors. I'm not too sure on the constructors' standings at the very minute.
Aston Martin are in P5 just behind Red Bull by 3 points, but we know Aston Martin going to leapfrog the Red Bull team as they haven't had a particular good race either. P10 and P14 as well for those 2 Red Bull drivers in Chrysler and Atlas Coppa. But we turn our attention to Mansell then. He tried to get a win at the Baku Grand Prix, got denied by 1/10 after Smoketown dragged him on the line. He's only had 1 race win this season, but he rounds the final 2 corners to pick himself up a second win. Mansell wins the Singapore Grand Prix after a fantastic drive. Burmeister in second. Martha Wasp will finish in 4th place, with Smoke, who gets a podium towards the end after his strategy not going his way, pitting or staying out during the safety car, and pitting was the right thing to do. He finishes in P3 and his great drive considering, with Emils in 5th place, and Keith, who's run a fantastic race so far, finishes in 6th place ahead of Calvin Racing, Energy down in 8th ahead of Adams, Chrysler in 10th place, Waitset in 11th, Cassidy 12th, Zeno 13th, and Atlas Coppa in 14th place. Those 2 have been laps, so they'll finish the race before Chrysler. What a race that was. Fantastic to Mansell. Played the strategy right. He did not follow what Smoke did, and he went to the pit lane, and that's what won him the race today, with excellent pace on the hands, drop Burmeister, and also Mindful Wasp too. Mindful Wasp picking himself up a 3-second penalty again twice. As a result, cost him a podium today. He'll be thinking back and be very disappointed with that, because it could have been a few clumsy mistakes where you just go out wide because you don't really pay attention, and therefore you pick himself up a 3-second penalty. I've been in those situations. Can you invite those 3 to the podium, please? Charlie?
Yeah. Mansell, Burmeister, and Smoke. Right. Mansell, where are you? There you are. Burmeister, Smoke. There we are. All 3 of them in. Well, all 3 of them should have an invite.
It looked a certainty from a 1 point of view that Marvel Wasp will pick up a podium, but Smoke's blistering pace towards the end. He caught up, overtook those guys without messing around, and got himself into P3. So Mansell has joined the party. We'll just wait for Burmeister and Smoke as well. Smoke won't be happy. His winning streak has come to an end, but still P3. His podium streak keeps going, but you win them all. You got to lose them as well at the same time. So we're just waiting for those 2 to join the party. Then we can get going once again. So the man who finishes in P1 will be happy with me tomorrow, as we have a good positive attitude, as he's finally won the race, as Mansell.
Yeah, it was a good race for him. Nice and controlled. Nicely done by him, of course, as well. And as much as I criticised him for his strategy, he's pulled it off, and I do have to give him a round of applause for that. We'll
just start with Mansell. I don't want to keep him waiting. So, Oliver, Owen, congratulations on your second win of the season, and that pit stop really paid dividends for you as well, because your championship, well, your rival stayed out there in P1. He stayed out, went for that one-stop strategy, the usual one-stop strategy, but the safety car came at the wrong time for you guys. But at the same time, you're able to get in the pit lane, put on new tyres, and go towards the end, whereas he had to make up the deficit towards the end, but he couldn't do it because it was too much of a gap to make up towards the end. So how do you feel about this race, Ben? It must be feeling good after the Baku Grand Prix last week.
Probably my least stressful race of the season. I wish every race was like that. But yeah, like you said, Smoke, I was basically doing the opposite to Smoke when the safety car came out. If he stayed out, if he stayed out, then I would have gone in like I did. Obviously, if he went in, then I would probably have stayed out. But yeah, no. Yeah, at the end of the day, it was the right strategy call. So yeah. Yeah, good to get the win, of course.
So you're saying you could have lost this win if Smoke pitted, because you would have done the opposite?
I mean, yeah, it was difficult. I was debating whether, literally last minute, whether to come in or not. So it was, yeah, it was a late call, but I saw like Smoke weren't coming in. I thought, well, Haas can pretty much go the whole race. So I was like, well, the free pit stop here, so why not? So went for the pit stop, and obviously it worked out in the end.
Well, I've got to end this interview, unfortunately, because I've got to go somewhere. So, guys, thank you very much for joining me in the pod. Charlie, thanks for the commentary, and well done today, Mato.
Yeah, cheers, mate. Thank you.
Owen, see you tomorrow, mate, in the commentary box, and join us back for Div 1 at 7:30 for the Singapore Grand Prix tomorrow. Sorry to cut it short. Smoke, I'm very sorry, mate. I know you wanted to interview, but I'm very sorry.